Are you ready for one of the most exciting, fun JayClay's music shows on the SSC network? Get ready for JayClay's Music Box. Let's go. Are you ready for? Get ready for JayClay's Music Box. Get ready for JayClay's Music Box. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to JayClay's Music Box. Listen, I'm excited. Today I got one of my brothers on. I've known him for maybe the last 9 years. I met him a minute ago. But listen, song of the week this week, I'm going to have to pick Shelby 5's Boom. It's been on rotation in my playlist. I got songs that I like that I've been listening to, but Shelby 5, real dope group out of the Detroit area, brothers and sisters group. Check them out. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce this brother. I saw him years ago singing with Todd Tribbett. We played spades on the Radio 1 cruise. Got real cool, man. He's just a really down-to-earth guy. We call him the Philly falsetto. You know what I mean? He's a man's man. He can hoop. Man, he can dress. Man, he can sing, he can act, he's a comedian, man, he's all of these things. You know, a lot of people in our industry want us to be one-sided, and I'm grateful for this brother, and I'm glad to call him a friend of mine. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to JayClay's Music Box. Jermaine Dolly. What up, bro?
What's up, baby?
Man, listen, man, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule, man, you know, and I appreciate you. Man, what's going on, man? Tell me what's happening with you, man.
Everything good, man. It's nothing anything for you, Jay. You know what I mean? Hit me up, come on the show, say less. That's easy.
Yeah, man.
You know, I'm really, you know, I got a lot of things going on right now. Marriage, music, working on some new music, hopping into the podcast world.
Yeah.
Stand-up comedy world. So like, you know, we gonna get into all that. So 2023 is like, it's gonna be like the year of like the setup of everything. You know what I mean? Like, no, not the setup, like the years, like everything's should come together. No, it's going to come together. You know what I mean? Music, comedy, podcast, just a whole bunch of stuff. Marriage, everything's gonna come together.
Man, so look, tell them. Let's tell them, man. Let's tell the people, man, so they can get to know you. How did you get your start, man? Let's start there.
Well, I've been singing all my life. And all that. You know what I mean? What happened? I was singing in church growing up. So I used to mock people in church. I just imitate them. We had a whole bunch of women in our church. Sister Pat, Sister Cynthia, Sister Davida, Sister Terry, Sister Sister Mazda. A whole bunch of women in the choir, and they all sung high. It was like soprano and alto. It was like sung high. I used to just imitate them. So I was like singing like my falsetto, not knowing I'm singing my falsetto, but I'm singing in my falsetto or whatever it may be. And when we doing that, I would just always, for years, I would just do that. Like years, just do that, whatever. And then one day, I was like 12 years old, me and my two best friends with our parents, we went to Red Lobster one day. And we were singing a song. I grew up Kojic, so we singing "Children of the Kingdom." That's who we are.
Yeah.
And so we going around the table. And they like, "Yo, you could not sing." I'm like, "Y'all can't do that." So for years. So now I'm singing in church. I'm saying like "Blessed Assurance," "Grace Thy Faithfulness," and my falsetto. Like growing up, like I didn't use my full voice till I was 18 years old. I didn't use my full voice.
You know, it's crazy because, you know, and I'm glad you telling the backstory, because people think sometimes that, you know, you use that as a gimmick to have a different sound, but you've been doing this.
I started off like legit as a child singing in my falsetto. I didn't know that was my falsetto, but you know, I grew up listening to like, you know, I grew up in church and I grew up outside too. You know, my dad was outside, my mom was in church. So I grew up listening to Vanessa Bell Armstrong. These are my three. Vanessa Bell Armstrong, Daryl Coley, and Reverend James Moore. They're my three. They're my three right there, right? And
absolutely, all brilliant.
saying? So outside, I was outside, like, Philly is where, falsetto come from. Like, Philly is where it's at.
Yeah.
And so, the stylistics, Delphonics, what I mean? Then I listened to, like, growing up, Marvin Gaye, Al Green, Donny Hathaways, got older, so I listened to Maxwell's and, like Bilal's, Prince and all that. So I've listened to like falsettos all my life, and not knowing that I'm really listening to these falsettos. And so I grew up in church just singing in my falsetto, just because that's where I was at with it. And then, I went to college, met a guy named Praise One, so I was singing with him, back around with him, and then Ty Tribbett caught wind to him. And so we started opening up for Ty on church. It was us, Molly, and Ty. That was the show.
Shout out to Praise One. That's my guy. Shout out to him. I've been knowing him for a long time since the Righteous Rider. Shout out to Praise One, definitely.
Yeah. And so, start off with him, and then we was doing stuff with Ty, and Ty asked me one day to sing with him. He texted me one day. He came to rehearsal. I came to one of Praise rehearsals, and he came, and he was like, yo, what's your number? I'm like, no. So back in town from Philly, so back in the town, like, Ty is like our Jay-Z, like, during this time, like, what I mean? He's like our Jay-Z, so we was like, so he asked me for my number. I'm like, what? Like, I had a flip phone at the time, like,
yeah.
I was trapping, like, I was outside. Like,
I love it.
And I'm like, all right, cool, bet, let's do it. And he gave me his number, and then, Ty had went through what he went through or whatever, because I used to just randomly text him every day, like, yo, not every day, but once a month, like, yo, you good? Like, you all right, straight? Just randomly just texting him. And then, he, like December 2nd, he texted me. He was like, yo, what you doing December 19th? I said, I ain't doing nothing. He said, I leave that day open. All right, bet. He texted me again December 9th and was like, yo, that day still open? I'm like, yeah, what's up? The first thing I saw was LA. I ain't been past Pittsburgh yet. So I'm
Man.
like, all right, what's up? Like, we out. Then I read the text again, and then it was like, he wanted me to sing with him in LA at Celebration of Gospel, BT John, and then that's gonna be the John, whatever. All right, cool. So we fly to LA, we do Celebration of Gospel, and then we do one church out there. We do Dream Center. We do Dream Center out there, and then he had a concert at Nissan Stewart Church. And Nissan Stewart Church, that's when I'm in Nissan Stewart Church, and it's like Stevie Wonder's there, Shawnee O'Neal's. There's like all these like celebrities. This is my first time seeing everybody, and this is my first time seeing like gospel people too at the Celebration of Gospel. So I'm looking around like, oh shoot, like this is like really crazy.
Yeah.
Stevie Wonder come up there and he starts singing. Like one of his favorite songs was Everything to Me. So he come up there and starts singing Everything to Me, and I just get stuck. Like that's Stevie. Like,
right.
Like, I'm not singing. You tripping like. And so Ty like sing. I'm like, all right, cool, but we do that. We fly back home, take a red eye back home, and I get off the plane, and his sister hand me an envelope. I said, "What's this?" She said, "This your check." I said, "Oh, we get paid for this?"
Oh yeah.
Oh,
different.
It's lit. It's lit. Like I just got on probation at the time and all that, so I'm like, oh, this gonna keep me out of trouble. Like, I'm with that. Like, I just got on probation and all that, and so I'm like, all right, bet. And then that one gig turned into 6 years, and then after that, I branched out and did my own thing. So now I'm here today.
Man, listen, that's incredible, man. And so it's incredible in these moments where when God opens up a door, man, and you don't realize he's doing it, and then you get into a moment where you with legends and you don't realize until years later that it was preparation for God to show you what you were worth.
Yeah, for sure.
In that moment.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a different vibe, man. And one of my favorite clips of you, and we're gonna get into you being a comedian and all that, but one of my favorite clips of you, and I want you to cut to this, Luther, is you singing one of your hit songs at a award show. I go back at least once or twice a month because your vocal ability and your note selection and your placement explains. You explained who you listen to because all
Yeah.
three of them are placement queens and kings. Vanessa
Yeah.
Bell Armstrong definitely played. Daryl Coley, placement king.
Yeah.
James Moore, placement king, but also could work through a song and wreck a
Yeah.
room within 5 minutes. It's over.
Yeah.
So let's talk about now that you told everybody about Philly and the sound and how you developed your sound. Let's talk about going from your artistry into did you know you were always funny and being a comedian? You know what I mean?
That was first. That
Okay.
was first. That was first. I didn't want to be no artist. I didn't want to do that. Like,
Yeah.
I was growing up in Philly. I wanted to be a drug dealer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I was terrible at that. Like,
Me too,
you
man.
know what I mean?
Horrible.
Horrible at it. And I went to church, and singing was that. But I always was a class clown. Always was funny, like in church. I always had that. Like, so that wasn't. That was easy. That was easy to be funny. Like, I was the only child, so I had a lot of things just come to me in my alone time, especially from being the only child. You know what I'm saying? And in the comedy world, even in the singing world, that's not like what I'm like called for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Those are just avenues to open up the door to what I'm really called for, what my assignment is, for what I'm chosen for, and all that. So
Yeah.
the comedy now, I treat comedy as like just a gateway to get to where I want the people to get to. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I do comedy, I draw the followers, and now you're going to see something about Jesus Christ or hear something about Jesus Christ. Now I got you. Now, whether you choose to unfollow or keep following me, that's up to you. But you heard something about Jesus Christ. Now that's up to you to do something with that, whatever case may be. You know what I mean? So, I'm stepping out to the world of stand-up comedy, stepping out over there, and I legit have a 45-minute set. Have a 45-minute set to where 45 minutes to an hour set to where it's called. I do on comedy. I do on Instagram. Secular news. No, secular. Church people sing secular songs in the car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or songs that should have hallelujah in it, like stuff like that. So just gearing like towards secular brand in the church. Like, that's just the being in church. But my comedy special would be how church people have secular conversations. That's the whole comedy special. Church people have secular conversations. And basically, I'm just exposing myself. I'm exposing